Welcome to today's What Moved the Market show. I'm your host Prem. It's Tuesday, November 18th, 2025, and here is everything you need to know as the markets close for today. The Indian equity markets ended a 6-day winning streak on Tuesday as investors took profits and absorbed global selling pressure. The Sensex fell 325 points to close at 84,626, a loss of 0.38%. The Nifty 50 slipped 103 points, closing below the 26,000 level at 25,910, down 0.4%. Meanwhile, the BankNifty managed a small gain, closing at 58,963, up 0.76%, though it had touched a record high of 59,001 during the day. The overall market sentiment was weighed down by profit booking after 6 consecutive days of gains and weakness in global markets, particularly in technology stocks, as investors digested falling expectations for a US Federal Reserve rate cut in December. On the currency front, the Indian rupee closed at 88.67 against the US dollar, marking a depreciation of 8 paise from the previous close. The rupee's weakness reflected concerns over a widening trade deficit and geopolitical uncertainties, despite strength in commodity markets globally. In the stock-specific action, the top-performing stocks delivered contrasting narratives. Bharat Electronics led the gainers, climbing nearly 2% as defense stocks attracted demand. Bharti Airtel jumped 1.61%, continuing its strong momentum toward 52-week highs. Axis Bank and Asian Paints also registered solid gains above 1%. On the flip side, Tech Mahindra was the biggest loser, falling 1.83% in response to weak global IT sentiment, as expectations of near-term US spending slowed. Shriram Finance slipped 2.66% on technical selling, while Tata Consumer Products, with exposure to discretionary consumption, fell 1.62%. Jio Financial Services also declined over 2%, amid broader weakness in financial services stocks. The day's highlight was the spectacular debut of PhysicsWallah, the edtech unicorn that listed with a powerful 33% premium over its IPO issue price of 109 rupees. The stock opened at 145 rupees on the NSE, immediately surging to touch an intraday high of 161.99 rupees, representing a gain of nearly 49% from the IPO price. This remarkable performance signals strong investor appetite for the edtech sector, despite the company receiving a muted IPO subscription of just 1.92 times overall. The listing was driven primarily by strong last-day participation from qualified institutional buyers, underscoring conviction in PhysicsWallah's business model and growth trajectory as the largest digital education platform in India. Looking at support and resistance levels on the Nifty 50, the index tested the 25,900 level during today's session, which continues to hold as a crucial support zone. The day's low of 25,900 mark represented the first real test of this level in recent sessions. On the resistance side, the previous breakout level around 26,100 remained untested as profit booking kept traders cautious. For BankNifty, the record high of 59,001 that was touched intraday now acts as a key resistance, while the immediate support is placed at 58,600. Sector performance showed clear divergence across market segments. The Nifty IT index declined 0.68%, dragged down by heavyweight tech stocks as investors repositioned ahead of key US earnings and employment data. Nifty Metal also underperformed, declining on profit-taking from recent gains. Nifty Realty continued its weakness with a small decline. However, banks and financial services offered support, with Nifty Bank edging higher and PSU banks showing resilience despite the broader market weakness. Auto stocks also remained relatively stable with modest gains. On the regulatory and policy front, SEBI reaffirmed its focus on transparency in the mutual fund industry during the CII Financing Summit on November 18th. SEBI official Amarjeet Singh noted the regulator's push to eliminate hidden costs through disclosure requirements. This comes after the October 28 consultation paper that proposed reducing brokerage charges from 12 basis points to 2 basis points for cash transactions and from 5 basis points to 1 basis point for derivatives. The feedback period for this consultation closed yesterday on November 17th, and industry observers expect final guidelines in the coming weeks. On commodities, MCX gold declined sharply, falling 1.3% to close at 121,333 rupees per 10 grams, as a stronger US dollar and easing tariff concerns pressured the precious metal lower. Silver was even weaker, dropping 2.38% to 151,608 rupees per kilogram, also retreating amid dollar strength. Crude oil prices held relatively steady around $63.77 per barrel, showing resilience despite global trade uncertainties and a stronger currency headwind for energy importers like India. Geopolitically, markets remained focused on progress of the proposed India-US trade deal, which is reportedly near closure on its first tranche. This development provided some underlying support to the sentiment, though it was insufficient to offset the broader global sell-off in technology stocks and profit-taking pressures in India following the six-day rally. From a technical perspective, the Nifty 50 has formed a bearish candle today after extended gains, signaling potential consolidation or profit booking in the near term. Key support now sits at 25,800, with a decisive break below this level, potentially dragging the index toward 25,600 levels. On the upside, the index needs to reclaim and sustain above 26,000 to resume its uptrend and target the 26,300 zone. The broader undertone remains constructive given strong domestic earnings, DII buying, and stable policy support, but near-term consolidation appears likely. BankNifty should find support near 58,600 and can push toward 59,500 if momentum improves on the next relief rally. Based on today's action, the key actionable insight is watching the rupee and the 25,900 support on Nifty very closely in the coming sessions. The depreciation of the rupee to 88.67 levels warrants caution on import-heavy companies while benefiting exporters and IT service providers over the medium term. Tech and metal sectors may need more time to bottom out given global headwinds, but any sharp decline towards support levels could present selective buying opportunities in quality large caps and defensive banking stocks. For investors following PhysicsWallah's strong debut, volatility should be expected in the near term after such a powerful opening surge, and consolidation following listing rallies is a common pattern. Stay tuned for tomorrow morning's wrap, and send in your questions to our social channels as we continue tracking these dynamic market movements.